Hello everyone and welcome to KT Research Guidance Bureau. In this session, we are going to talk about data presentation and analysis. Before commencing, I would like to talk about KT Research Guidance Bureau. This bureau is helpful to researchers, to postgraduate students as well as those pursuing NET, GSET or any other competitive exam. So please subscribe to the channel, comment and favor the bureau, and please press the bell icon. Now let us talk about the data presentation and analysis. First of all, secondary data analysis. Secondary data was collected for the different public sector banks in Surat district. There are 7 parameters as discussed earlier were considered to know the present scenario of the public sector banks. These 7 parameters are nothing but branches, deposits, loans and advances, net profit, NPA to advances, business per employee and profit per employee. The data revealed that there has been continuous increase in trend from 2012 to 2016, whereas there has been, as there is an increase in the number of branches, there has been an increase in the deposits of the public sector banks from 2012 to 16. Whereas loans and advances given by these banks was increasing till 2014, but after 2014-15, banks have started reducing giving the loans and advances to the people. NPA to advances have been increasing tremendously from 2012 to 2016, and because of that the net profit of the banks have been continuously declining from 2012 to 2016. In 2016, majority of the commercial banks working in Surat district have also gone into losses. Business per employee has also shown an increasing trend, which shows that the bank is efficient enough. Profit per employee is also constantly declining from 2012 to 2016. Of course, this is because the net profits have been constantly declining. Let us see now the primary data analysis. Before moving to the primary data analysis, let us see the demographic profile of the respondents. Bank-wise distribution of respondents shows that maximum data has been collected from SBI and Bank of Baroda, as these banks have maximum number of branches in Surat district. Those banks which had less number of branches, we have tried to collect 100% data from these banks. Those banks which had large number of branches like Bank of Baroda and State Bank of India, at least 30% of the data was collected from them. Gender-wise distribution of respondents shows that maximum amount of employees were male in public sector banks, which is around 69.7%, whereas half of them were females, which is 30.3%. Age-wise distribution of the respondents show that maximum amount of employees whose data was collected fall between the age group of 21 to 40 years, whereas very less number of employees have the age above 50 years, which means that there is young and enthusiastic staff in public sector banks which was appointed. Marital status of the respondents show that maximum number of respondents were married, whereas only 36.5% of the employees were unmarried. Nativity wise respondents show that maximum number of the respondents come from urban areas, whereas very few number of employees, which is around 15.6%, come from rural areas. Education wise distribution shows that maximum number of respondents in public sector banks were having graduate degree or post graduation, which means that there is highly qualified staff appointed by the banks. Designation wise distribution, the data reveals that maximum number of respondents were officers, which is 58.3%, followed by clerks around 39% and only 2.7% of sub-staff. Distribution of respondents based on experience, the data revealed that maximum number of respondents were having the experience from 1 to 10 years, whereas very less number of employees have the experience of more than 25 years. Distribution of respondents on the basis of annual salary, the data reveals that maximum number of respondents have the annual salary of about 6 lakhs, which is around 37%. Now, let us see the measurement of job satisfaction. Now, to measure job satisfaction, Porter's model was considered and the 20 parameters which were given by Porter were considered for the study. The measurement of job satisfaction of the employees is based on the answers which are given by the employees when 3 questions were asked to them. As each characteristic outlined by Porter, 3 questions measures perception, aspiration and importance given by the employees to each characteristic. The questions which were asked were how much he or she finds about the characteristic in the job, which defines the perception, whereas how much he or she would like to have the characteristic in the job, which defines the aspiration. How important are these characteristics for him to her, which defines the importance. For every attribute of job satisfaction, a respondent was asked to answer according to the state of mind represented by A, B and C by a number on the scale of 5 to 1. Later, the discrepancy scores were calculated with the difference between aspiration and perception, which is B minus A. The answer which was obtained can be positive as well as negative, but this particular sign was ignored as they do not have any significance. Later, the scores were obtained were multiplied by corresponding score of perceived importance of each characteristic, which is C. Thus, to measure overall job satisfaction, Porter's model score was C into B minus A. Thus, an employee with highest level with this particular equation of job satisfaction get maximum score of positive 400, whereas dissatisfied employees get the score of minimum minus 400. After data analysis with this particular formula, the range which was obtained was minus 92 to 249. The frequency table here, which presents the job satisfaction score obtained, we can see that maximum number of the employees have score within the range of 0 to 100, which is around 80%. Very less number of employees, around 9%, have the scores less than 0. Later on, for further analysis, statistical tools such as mean and standard deviation were used to measure job satisfaction of the employees of public sector banks in Surat district. The mean and standard deviation which was obtained on the raw job satisfaction frequencies were 48.52 and 45.79 respectively. The mean and standard deviation obtained were used to fix the boundaries for further analysis. The boundary level fixed for further analysis was to upper boundary level for low level of job satisfaction, where we have subtracted mean from standard deviation, which was 48.52 minus 45.79, which is around 3, whereas lower boundary was calculated by summing it up, which is around 94. So, the employees whose score were less than 3 had low level of job satisfaction, more than 94 had high level of job satisfaction, and those between the range of 3 to 94 has medium level of job satisfaction. Later on, we can see from the frequency table that maximum number of employees have medium level of job satisfaction. Out of 1035 employees, 714 employees, which is around 69% of the employees, have medium level of job satisfaction, whereas 15.4% have low level of job satisfaction and 15.7% have high level of job satisfaction. Later, to know the bank-wise job satisfaction level, it was further analyzed. The data of bank-wise job satisfaction level revealed that those which were working in Punjab National Bank had low level of job satisfaction, followed by Canara Bank, whereas those working in State Bank of Mysore and State Bank of Travancore, 100% of medium level of job satisfaction was observed, followed by Andhra Bank. High level of job satisfaction was observed in State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur, followed by IDBI and Union Bank of India. Now, to find out the factors affecting job satisfaction, factor analysis on the basis of the Porter's model was performed. Before factor analysis, KMO and Barley test for sampling adequacy was performed. KMO test of sampling adequacy, which was around 0.91 greater than 0.8, shows that the data is meritorious, whereas Barley test of sphericity, where significant value is less than 0.05, which shows that the model is fit for factor analysis. Later on, with the help of extraction method and principal component analysis, out of this 20 variables, 6 components were extracted having eigenvalues more than 1. And these components which were extracted have variance of around 61.24%. Later on, with the help of rotated component matrix, 6 components were extracted having different variables within them, which has some or the other similarity between them. These 6 components which were extracted were employees' gratitude and transparency, benefit and status, friendly relation and modernization, safety and security of the employees, job transfer and workload. Later on, to know the reliability of this 6 components, reliability test was conducted. The data of the Cronbach alpha reveals that the first 4 components have the value more than 0.6, which shows more reliability towards job satisfaction, whereas 5th and 6th component is less than 5, thus do not show any reliability towards job satisfaction. Later on, factor analysis was also performed on the attributes measuring present job satisfaction. Now, these attributes were extracted out of the literature review. These attributes were not covered into the attributes of Porter's model, and thus they are extracted from the literature review which was done. On this, to find out the most effective factors affecting job satisfaction, factor analysis was performed on them. Now, before again attempting factor analysis, KMO and Barley test was performed. KMO test of sampling adequacy shows that it is more than 0.8 and thus it is meritorious, whereas Barley test of sphericity, the significant value is less than 0.05, which shows that there is no identity matrix and the model is fit for factor analysis. Later on, with the help of extraction method, principal component analysis, on this 20 variables, 4 components were extracted having eigenvalues more than 1. And the variance which was explained by these 4 components was around 56.262%. Later on, with the help of rotated component matrix, 4 components were extracted having different variables under them, having some similarity between them. These 4 components which were extracted were internal environment, benefit and transparency, development and security, and departmental policies. Further, reliability test was conducted on again these 4 particular components. It shows the value of Cronbach alpha that first 3 components have the value more than 0.5 and show some reliability, whereas 4th component was not considered as it has only one variable into n and it does not become a component, and thus the reliability test was not conducted on it. Later, to know the impact of these particular components on job satisfaction and amount of variance in employees' overall level of job satisfaction, regression test was performed. Hypothesis was framed, and after regression analysis, the data revealed that the value of R square is around 0.669, which shows that around 67% of these components are contributing towards job satisfaction. Later on, ANOVA for F value was found out, and the significance value says that it is less than 0.5, which says that we fail to accept the null hypothesis, and the model is fit. Coefficient beta values reveal that there is some positive association between job satisfaction and these components. The significance value of all the 6 components is less than 0.05, which says that we fail to accept the null hypothesis, and there is the impact of this particular components towards job satisfaction. The beta value reveals that there is a positive association between them. The value says that employees' gratitude and transparency have more impact on job satisfaction, followed by benefit and status, friendly relation, and modernization. We can also say that 1 unit of change in employee gratitude and transparency will have positive 1 unit of change in around employees' gratitude and transparency to around 0.285. Similarly, 1 unit of change in benefit and status will have around 0.199 unit of change in job satisfaction. Later, association between demographic variables and job satisfaction was also performed. For that, chi-square test was used, but before that, cross tabulation between these demographic variables and job satisfaction was done. First, between gender and job satisfaction. Cross tabulation data reveals that females were having more medium level of job satisfaction, around 75%, than males, whereas high level of job satisfaction was observed in males than females. Later, between age and job satisfaction, the cross tabulation data reveals that those who are in the age group of between 21 to 50 have medium level of job satisfaction, whereas as the age increases, high level of job satisfaction reduces. Later on, the cross tabulation between marital status and job satisfaction was also done. It was found that married employees have more medium level of job satisfaction than unmarried employees, and unmarried employees have more high level of job satisfaction than married employees. Nativity and job satisfaction was also found out, and the data here revealed that those employees coming from urban areas have more medium level of job satisfaction than those coming from rural areas, whereas those coming from rural areas have more high level of job satisfaction than the ones coming from cities or urban areas. Cross tabulation between education qualification and job satisfaction was also done, and it was observed that those employees which are highly qualified have more medium level of job satisfaction, whereas those who are having less qualification like SSC or HSC have more low level of job satisfaction. Then present position of the employees and job satisfaction was also done. It was observed that officers have less medium level of job satisfaction in comparison to sub-staff, whereas those who were having higher position have more high level of job satisfaction than ones who are working at the lower level. Then cross tabulation between experience and job satisfaction level was also done. It was observed that those who were having an experience less than 10 years have more medium level of job satisfaction, whereas as the number of experience increases, low level of job satisfaction also increases. Annual salary and job satisfaction cross tabulation was also done, and it was found that there is not much difference in the level of job satisfaction among the employees having different annual salaries, whereas as the salary increases, we can say that the high level of job satisfaction also increases with it. Later on all these particular demographic variables, chi-square test was performed, and it was observed that the p-value, all of them, is less than 0.05, and we fail to accept the null hypothesis, and we can say that there is some association between these demographic variables and job satisfaction. Later on, to find out the overall job satisfaction in public sector bank, hypothesis was framed, and to find this overall job satisfaction in public sector bank, one sample t-test was conducted as the data was normal. Data of one sample t-test significance value is less than 0.05. Thus, we fail to accept the null hypothesis, and we can say that there is a significant difference in overall job satisfaction of the employees among the public sector banks. The mean value, which is around 3.6551, is quite near to the test value 4, and thus we can say that there is some job satisfaction among the employees working in public sector bank. Later on, an association between job satisfaction and turnover intention was also found. For that, again chi-square was performed, but before that cross tabulation was done. With the data of cross tabulation, we have observed that those employees who were having low level of job satisfaction agree to leave the company or leave the bank and go. That means there is some turnover intention. But it was also observed that those employees we were having high level of job satisfaction agree more to leave the job and go if provided with better opportunity. So there is a negative relationship between turnover intention and job satisfaction. Later, chi-square test was performed, and it was observed that the p-value is less than 0.5, where we fail to accept null hypothesis, and we can say that there is some association between turnover intention and job satisfaction. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this particular session. In the coming session, we are going to talk about the findings, conclusion and suggestion of the thesis.